We begin in Washington, where President Donald Trump has shocked global markets once again. In a dramatic push to reshape international trade, the president signed a sweeping executive order imposing new tariffs on over 70 countries. The move comes just ahead of today's deadline that President Donald Trump himself set to finalize trade deals. The executive order outlines import tariffs ranging from 10 to 41%, targeting dozens of U.S. trading partners.
Our 18 major trading partners, 2/3 of those trading partners have a deal. We've sent out 17 letters to countries around the world. And the rest of those countries that either do not have a deal or have a letter, they will be hearing from this administration by the midnight deadline tonight. So yes, tomorrow, August 1st, the reciprocal rates will be going into effect.
And here's a rundown of the latest tariffs and countries that are now being impacted. The highest tariffs, 41%, will hit Syria. Other countries like Laos and Myanmar face 40%, while Switzerland will now pay 39%. India, alongside Brunei, Kazakhstan, Moldova, and Tunisia, have been slapped with 25% tariffs. Now, according to a statement by the White House, the new duties officially kick in 7 days after the order signing, except for Canada, whose tariffs take effect immediately today on August 1st.
Look, we like Canada. I love Canada. I have so many friends in Canada. But they've been very poorly led. They've been very, very poorly led. And all we want is fairness for our country. That's all, And I said, well, you're going to have to pay for that.
Now, after President Donald Trump's tariff announcement, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney called the move disappointing and vowed to defend Canadian jobs. But in a surprise move, Mexico has been granted a 90-day delay from higher tariffs, including a planned 30% rate on non-automotive goods. Now, this followed a call between President Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, who confirmed the extension on social media. Still, Mexico will continue to face 25% tariffs on cars and 50% on metals, as well as penalties related to the fentanyl crisis.
What we're looking for is that in front of this international situation, Mexico keeps the treaty, a good commercial relationship with the United States as a trade partner. So I think in this sense, it's a very good agreement to remain as we are and continue working.
And in South Asia, President Trump's very good friend India will be hit with a 25% import tax, a significant increase that comes after trade talks stalled. The deadlock centered around India's protected farm sector, which New Delhi refuses to open up. And earlier, President Trump also hinted at unspecified penalties for India's purchase of Russian oil, tying the issue to broader geopolitical concerns. The tariff news caused the Indian rupee to slump, while India's trade minister vowed to take all necessary steps to secure the national interest.
Attaches the utmost importance to protecting and promoting the welfare of our farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, exporters, MSMEs, and all sections of industry. We will take all necessary steps to secure and advance our national interest.
Now, President Trump also said he expects to have a very fair deal with China. And while he didn't spell out the terms of any trade framework, he said that countries importing oil from Russia will face tariffs. However, he's yet to say whether China would pay more than the 30% tariff rate imposed on Beijing this year. However, Brazil, too, was not spared. Despite early concerns, Brazil now faces a 10% general tariff. However, in a separate order, a 50% tariff was placed on specific Brazilian exports, including aircraft, orange juice, and energy. Trump cited Brazil's prosecution of former President Jair Bolsonaro as a factor.
8 out of the 10 products the U.S. export to us most have a zero tariff. President Lula have instructed to first continue negotiating. Negotiations have not ended today. They begin today.
And the European Union also saw changes. Goods with U.S. duty rates above 15% are exempt, while those below 15% are adjusted upward. Also, tariff rollout, consumer prices are already rising, and U.S. data shows sharp jumps in furniture, vehicles, and clothing costs. The president says this is a necessary price for long-term gains. And with tensions rising and legal questions mounting, will the president's bold trade gamble pay off?
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktoren,
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Kali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.